May take a couple of seconds. Come on, seems we are live now, and I want to say big welcome to everyone. A couple of seconds. Who is watching us in YouTube, and of course to our amazing guests today. This is very unusual for the Scaleswap YouTube channel, unusual event, unusual occasion. We decided instead of standard AMA session to make the discussion, visionary discussion about the future of the NFT sector. And for that, we invited very relevant people who are perfectly matching the topic of our discussion today. I want to introduce them one by one. But first of all, I remind you that you are on the Scaleswap YouTube channel, the Layer 2 IDO Launchpad with the most fair and open-minded ecosystem in the sector. And we also have here Ralf Gerteis, who is CEO and co-founder at Scaleswap. Hi, Ralf.
Hello.
Presenting our speakers, I want to say hi to Alex Shedogubov, the co-founder and CEO at Envelop, which is NFT protocol. Hi, Alex.
Hi. Hello, everyone.
And of course, Joel Dietz, who is CEO and co-founder at ArtWallet, another amazing project in the NFT sector. Hi, Joel.
Pleasure to be here.
Thank you for joining us. And of course, Amir Sultan Malik, who is the CEO and founder at Rocket Blockchain, which works a lot with various NFT projects and marketplaces. Hi, Amir.
Hello, Nelly. Thank you for having me here.
Guys, it is such a pleasure to have you here. And I think the best way for us to start today would be with the high level understanding, your personal understanding of the NFT. Because you know, everyone knows that it is non-fungible token, but not everyone understands what is the scope of the sense behind these three letters abbreviation. So could you please tell me with your own words, how do you feel what NFT means and why it matters?
Nelly, I'll just be jumping in over here. So I think that the NFT can be seen as a vessel of tokenization of digital assets, but also of non-digital assets on an immutable ledger, intertwined with a very interesting financial system we have over here. So basically a vessel of tokenization representing assets of a unique manner. Yeah, that's what the name non-fungible hints to.
Cool, Amir. Thank you for this short wrap up. And I would love to hear also from Alex, what for you are the most unobvious NFT use cases?
As for me, maybe nowadays seems not unobvious, but we see that NFTs, especially for economics and for transfer of assets, liquidity, and so we are focusing on this spectrum. So we see big potential in tokenization of payment channels and then going straight to secure derivatives. So it's kind of long-term aim and not obvious thing now, as everybody is focused on games and metaverses and so on, and art especially.
Cool to hear that. Recently, I was watching for the webinar by Anderson Horowitz, where they discussed that NFTs will be mostly not about art, but about investment field. NFT give us the new way of investments that we didn't have before. And how do you guys understand this? Do you agree with this, first of all? Yeah, is that true? And how do you understand this from your side?
I'd say it's partially correct. You know, there's an element of really NFTs that came about with really games, you know, around collectibles, and CryptoKitties was the first really big successful one. And I think a lot of the punks and stuff is really ultimately a speculative game dynamic, but the broader application area is massive and it touches into art. You know, CryptoKitties probably aren't really like art per se, but it like bridges into so many other different asset classes. And really, I think Andres is definitely correct in saying it's a new form of investment.
Thank you, Joel. Alex, you also wanted to mention something.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that we now watch on investment side from technical side. So we are even creating the first steps to it. So where we offer investments via NFTs, when we can put assets inside and put locks and offer it for retail buyers, so VCs. So it's with time locks, and so this way we can control the investment inside each NFT and then give it to the public or funds, and then they can transfer it and use it more flexible than they now can with the substance tokens they have in their possession.
You mean indexes with NFTs containing different asset classes, right?
Yeah, kind of that. For example, we will show now idea kind of showcase of a launchpad that can be created via NFTs, where we put our own assets inside NFT and put time locks and offer it for public buying. So there will be a kind of time lock for half a year.
Sounds really cool, and maybe it is my bad because I know very well all the people and all the projects here, so I did not pay enough attention to introduce you properly because both Envelop, ArtWallet, Rocket Blockchain, it's like I can wake up in the middle of the night, yeah, and kickstart already discussing about your differences. But maybe we could make one step back and you could introduce shortly your projects from the perspective of what is Envelop, ArtWallet bringing on the market from the technological perspective, and what is Rocket Blockchain also bringing from the expertise perspective. So who wants to start?
So I can surely give a small start on that. Thanks a lot. So basically, Rocket Blockchain evolved with the comments of blockchain in the sphere, and also us understanding blockchain as a technology enabling very different use cases. So also when we talk about NFTs, and we understand that NFTs do not only belong to art, it can be even a real estate or payment channels, as Alex has explained. So Rocket Blockchain ventured out accompanying different projects on understanding how blockchain, how tokenization, and how also the crypto fall into part to shape new business models. Maybe, as Alex explained very nicely, on-chain royalty payments for artists who can also participate in the secondary cell. And also tokenization in real estate is a very interesting topic we've touched. So we work in the broad areas with different experts. And basically as a venture builder, yes. So that's a small summary from my side.
And you also work with quite plenty of marketplaces, correct?
We work with different marketplaces, exactly. So one interesting use case is a cybersecurity company, which actually attaches digital twins to physical objects, allowing new business models for traditional art, like artists and galleries and even museums, to bring physical objects onto the chain and attach this with new business models, maybe even using technology as Envelop offers it, with interesting wrapping technology and on-chain trusted payment security. So this is where we basically come in and help our partners.
Actually, this is a very cool idea, and I have plenty of questions about this specific use case, but we will come to it a little bit later. And Alex, can you please share with our audience? Oh my God, it's like 2,000 people are watching us live right now. So can you please tell them a little bit more about Envelop and Nifty protocol, which is different names, but for one big ecosystem?
So actually Envelop is composed from protocol itself. Now it's named Envelop protocol. It used to be Nifty, but due to a lot of similar namings of projects, we redesigned the naming. So the whole DAO is composed from protocol, oracle, and the index. Now we are in alpha of protocol, and our main aim is to give new functionality to current NFTs. So we make it by wrapping NFTs, and then we can set up economical setup for for the NFT to grow in price, royalties to be paid, locks to be settled on these NFTs. And we can make it everything on chain, controlled by smart contracts without any third parties needed. So especially it's for creators a good thing. And as we communicated to our partners, it's also a good thing about distribution of incomes. For example, when we say about rental in-game items, where an owner can give an item to a person who will play for that, and they will can share their price in any game. So we're making these things and give just a kind of a number of tools for any project, the game project, metaverse, marketplace, and then we say further about economical projects.
Okay, and just to summarize, this is the cross-chain protocol for the whole NFT sector that provides different tools and infrastructure to create and manage different use cases for NFTs, right?
Perfectly right.
Thank you. And just to remind everyone that Envelop protocol, which I truly believe will be the next big thing on the market, is launching their IDO on Scaleswap next week on October 19th. So please pay attention and check the links in the description of this video.
21st, October 21st.
Sorry, October 21st. Definitely. My bad.
We can't await it, you know. So therefore, we made it 2 days earlier. So, but it's actually 21st.
Yes, and I know that you are also partnering with ArtWallet. So Joel, the stage is yours, and tell us more about ArtWallet, which is also a very cool project in the NFT sector.
Yeah, you know, I'm a fellow at MIT. I was working on a book on kind of crypto economics, and it was kind of early in Ethereum, helped start MetaMask and things. And when I was looking at kind of how the industry evolved, people were calling me up about NFTs and stuff like that. I looked at all the feature sets and all the marketplaces, and not that many people were looking at the kind of core infrastructure kind of behind the whole, you know, NFT. I mean, some people are talking about data persistence and everything else. But it occurred to me after talking with a lot of people from the media and entertainment industry and very well-established artists that there were a bunch of kind of services that were going to be needed that kind of went beyond where the industry was today. Some of it was, you know, insured assets, you know, various type of like valuation and other things, but most especially really the ability to kind of paywall and create kind of streaming services behind NFTs. So ArtWallet is kind of starting with like planning to be the ultimate wallet for the kind of metaverse, but then a lot of that is basically providing exclusive access to different kind of content. So you could say a little bit like a Spotify or OnlyFans for NFTs.
So what is the disruption sector, the killing feature in the ArtWallet for the NFT industry?
Well, I would say it's basically taking, you know, NFTs, not that they aren't somewhat mainstream now, but taking them really mainstream and saying an NFT provider can disrupt Netflix, it can disrupt Amazon Prime, it can disrupt, you know, Spotify, it can disrupt, you know, the whole entertainment and media streaming industry. Because the things that you can build into an NFT from a content distribution side is basically the same thing. But then once you enable all the downstream monetization and the larger sector of these industries, that's gonna, you know, explode. So I think, you know, NFTs are what, like 11 billion or something today, or, you know, in the last recently, I think we're going to at least 10x that, you know, with this type of technology.
Amazing, Joel. And by the way, around 4,000 people are watching us live right now, and we see a lot of questions in the live chat, but people are also asking you, Joel, if it's possible to switch on your light. It's very dark in your room and they don't see you properly. If it's possible. If not possible, it will be, you know, very authentic, like semi-anonymous.
Maybe in the meantime, I would have a little filler, if as we are still a little bit in the beginning. Since today, I have a new LinkedIn contact, Jamie Goldblatt. And I just wanted one of his posts. It's already 7 months ago, but I really liked it, and it has also certain association not only to the crypto world, but especially to the NFT world. And it's called, I asked my 7-year-old son what he thought of money, and he said old and dirty. I asked him what he thought of his gold coins in Lego worlds, and he said amazing, they unlock new worlds. So this is a little bit, it was quite inspiring, as he put that also from the view of a children, classical currencies, but on the other hand, also really new forms, and not only cryptocurrencies, but NFTs, which have so much potential in such a broad, use cases. So I just wanted to use that as a little filler.
I fully agree. It sounds very inspiring, right? and by the way, just following on this topic, and I see that a lot of questions in the chat give me the hint that many people are quite aware of the NFT sector and NFT applications. They are even asking about different blockchains, but we will switch to your questions, guys, very soon. But for newbies in the NFT sector, so when you own an NFT, for everyone, it's obvious, yeah, that you can buy some NFT object, hold it, maybe sell it, yeah, but what other things you can do with NFT once you own it in nowadays?
I think that one of most obvious things close to be done is a rental and opening a big secondary market for such rental NFTs in many sectors. So it can be both for art, for game items, and all other things performed in NFTs. So it's can be done there. And maybe also, if Joel said about infrastructure, maybe as we say about non-obvious things, the one we are also executing is a kind of building up a scoring and anti-fraud system for NFTs, a kind of special oracle for whole market. So maybe this thing we think also be with great demand in nearest future when we step on another stance of development of NFTs.
Very good. So right now you can rent out NFTs, and are there already existing platforms where you can do it?
Yeah, there exists any platform, but there's a kind of a problem of pledging assets to take any NFT for rent, and sometimes the pledge is real big, and we are working on the concept where you can make a non-pledge rental via wrapping NFTs and making settings for that, so it's all automated and controlled by the smart contract. So the owner will be afraid that he will lose his NFT, and the recipient who rents it will be sure that he will not lose his pledge for that NFT, and that's it.
Mm-hmm. And can you also use NFT as a collateral?
I think closer to winter, we'll be able to add inside collaterals new and other NFTs. Now we can put their fungible tokens, LP positions, and native coins of chain, of Ethereum, Binance Smart Chain. But closer to winter, we'll be able to put inside other NFTs. Mm-hmm. And make a kind of composable NFT, or maybe in games, I think it will be also a useful thing where we can make a kind of constructor from different NFT items inside here with their necks, with an armor, and so on. Just wrap it together and give it for rent or play by yourself and have fun.
Wow, it seems that it opens the whole new world for the NFT usage. Sounds really amazing. And the art application in the art sector is not that old schoolish yet, but still quite obvious. And I think majority of people who just get introduced to the NFT, they think of NFT within the art industry. And Joel, obviously, I'm referring to you. Can you please elaborate a little bit more on these use cases when you use NFT in the art sector?
Yeah, I just came out from this amazing exhibit. It's currently up in the Dubai Ball, and it's up in Paris too, called Infinity Lumiere. And we've also been doing something with Super Blue, and there's just some really amazing kind of experiential art things that are kind of bringing in the cutting edge of like AI technology, generative art, experience in places, including in some cases like some of the partners they're doing neurofeedback, based thing where the piece of art evolves as you're actually experiencing it based on your own brain chemistry. And all those people, they want to get involved in the NFT space, but because either the prices or the mindset or whatever else, they're on the cutting edge. But first of all, they don't necessarily trust the people in NFT space. Crypto people are all shilling this kind of thing and the other. So it's actually sometimes hard for them to gain trust. So other thing is a lot of them, they can't really get involved because they really need to be able to have good methods for valuing and ensuring the assets based on certain valuation criteria. And so the way that kind of some of the economic structure is done today with, these kind of pumps and things like that, it kind of guarantees that a lot of this stuff, even, like I say, my own portfolio did a 14x last month, great, but like, it's not going to sustain value. A lot of these things are not going to be worth a whole lot in, a couple of years. And so for people who are used to building generationally and art pieces that, are still going to retain value in decades because of how remarkable they are, there's some missing pieces basically. And I think to some degree, it just requires us to go back and rethink the NFT industry from scratch, of how to build it correctly to be able to allow some of that sort of multi-generational kind of wealth to kind of come in and everything else. So I don't feel super negatively about how it is today, but I think there's a lot more that can be built, particularly in this kind of fine art arena.
Okay, good. And by the way, Joel, since you touched this point, what do you think also in ArtWallet, you work with a lot of creators, right? You have quite a number of them in your ecosystem. So how do you elaborate with them? What advantages do they receive while joining ArtWallet ecosystem?
Yeah, I personally have done a lot of like AR and VR and large installation art pieces and dynamic poetry, fractal simulation, and all this kind of stuff. Just me, and then through that process, I know hundreds of poets and AR VR artists and Burning Man artists and people who do these things, and we have features and kind of planning. The metaverse is like this amazing space where people are starting to populate with things, and the technology, like the 2D technology and even the mobile app experiences doesn't necessarily give you the depth to be able to experience the full version of those things. So we're in a lot of conversations with hardware manufacturers and things of that nature where they're kind of really pushing the edge of what's possible, and we kind of plan to integrate. I can't speak to all the details, and part of it is we're still establishing who our launch artists are, because in conversations with maybe hundreds of artists, but we really want to do stuff that kind of illustrates like what the real cutting edge possibilities in art are at the kind of highest level. And like one really amazing thing we did yesterday actually was the NFT Basel, which was happening here in Dubai. And an artist friend of mine, Besa, who builds like temples and the metaverse and a lot of Egyptian pyramids and voxels, took some of his art and they wrapped a physical Tesla Model S and basically made an NFT thing, and it also has an AR layer, has this other thing. We're making a game where you're actually going to be able to drive around this car in game, but there is a physical Model S that was there, and hey, everyone needs it, or not everyone, but many people, they need a car to drive around, and you can actually win a car like this in the auction right now we're doing around these like crypto Apollo pieces, which is like really the first kind of like NFT drop. But we're I think there's still like 2 on sale actually in the Elydium platform if anyone wants to like scoop up the final 2. We sold a couple at NFT Basel as well, but we're kind of dropping another 1,000 with the kind of our own TGE event, and then a car is gonna be won by one of the participants. But in some ways, it's just we're really passionate about bridging the world of like digital with like real physical world, and that whole kind of process of making it as seamless as possible.
Oh my God, that's so exciting. So this is still open, right? This opportunity to win the Tesla in this NFT campaign.
Exactly. And then, we're kind of like selling the first couple of these, and then the rest will go with the TGE. So there's still a possibility just to scoop up one of them. Yeah, the original.
So guys who are watching us right now, you still have a chance to get your Tesla from ArtWallet. And if the link is missing in the description, right after we finish this session, we will publish the right link where you can learn more about this campaign competition by ArtWallet and get your chance to win a Tesla. That sounds really, really cool. Since we touched the point of digital and real world objects, Amir, I want to ask you, why at all NFT is needed when we speak about selling real art objects or cars or luxury goods or I don't know, diamonds, whatever, because the market is quite advanced already, seems to be. Yeah, and if there are real world objects, why do we need to mix them with the NFT? Can you please elaborate for those who don't understand this?
I think that's a very interesting point we're touching. So basically, anti-counterfeit technology has been out there since a long time. So there are a lot of brands and luxury goods which are subject of this. So creating digital twins and digital IDs to uniquely identify those physical objects is one very interesting point where you can see NFT as an evolutionary step of that, of not only creating this digital ID for unique identification, but also to market it in the digital world. And I think it's very all-surrounding trend of digitalization, which the art world and the physical world also can't hide away from. So there's always a need for business model innovation. There's a need for digitalization. The great advantages which artists have, also painting physical objects with the digital world, such as offering fractional ownership to art lovers who maybe combined can own a Mona Lisa, for example, or having those royalties included on-chain, allowing the artist to actually participate on the secondary market. So those are all advantages which you can also bring to your physical object. So there's actually no reason of not having a digital solution or a digital twin for your physical object in my eyes, especially if you allow to bring things from the physical in the digital world. You can combine all of those cool applications and technologies which are coming from Joel and Alex. Besides that, you couldn't. So I think it's a must-have. It's a must-have to move from physical also to digital and to intertwine.
So counterfeit is one of the main reasons, right? Counterfeit protection.
This is one of the original reasons for digitalizing the physical luxury goods. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay, but for that you don't need to use NFT.
No. You don't need to do that. You can also do it differently. But it's about participating in this new ecosystem which is evolving. So you can hop onto the next evolutionary step as one sees it, and the business models accompanying it. Or not. Yeah. So this is, I think, a choice which, people and companies have to take. And there's obviously only one direction, namely going digital. So this is very, like from a marketing perspective, the interesting part is that you're also tapping into a new market, into the crypto market, which is very exciting. The crypto market is looking for cool use cases. They're also dependent of acceptance and dissemination of cool blockchain projects evolving. So I wouldn't say it's not only for counterfeit, but actually for creating completely new disruptive business models and participating in that. And it's a great way, I think, to explore yourself in digital strategies, which is a must for everybody.
Mm-hmm. Okay, thank you. It clarifies a lot, really, Amir. And I think a lot of people right now, more than 5,000 watching us on YouTube, will find it important, the information that all of you guys shared during this session. And I see a lot of questions in the live chat about your view on the NFT market in general, about your view on what are the main trends, etc. But I want to ask also about your view on the problems on the NFT market right now in October 2021. What is your opinion? What are the core problems that you face, guys, on the NFT sector, and that I know you are trying to solve? So who wants to elaborate first? Maybe Alex?
As for me, I think that the main problem is, which also was the reason why we designed the protocol the way it is now, is that there's plenty of items on NFT market. There's no way to estimate them. It's real hard. And then we always see a lot of collections with skyrockets, and then there's a short hype, and then dump to zero. And there's a lot of disappointed holders of such NFTs. So this way we designed our concept of collateral to have insurance inside NFT to be protected from it. So we see that the market needs a bit of hedge, maybe automated hedge, just to lower risks for the holders and buyers. And of course, it will be easier to come into deals for any person. For example, now you have to search about the creator, the collection, the rarity, and so on. And there's sometimes which collection are really on hype, but they are sold before the public is let in. And so for the same, also such digits will be more understandable how to estimate if it's economic model of royalty distribution, and insurance inside, kind of that.
Alex, I love the points you featured here, and just related to the NFT value that you underlined, we have a good question from Vlada Romanova from the chat. How do you think the real NFT value should be determined? So maybe you can elaborate a little bit more on that. And if it can be also in the perspective of how we could use Envelop to determine the real value, then would be even better.
So in our concept also, still the person who sells is to dictate the price, but he will have a kind of a basis of economics inside this NFT. Maybe when he bought it from secondary market, the kind of recommended price he can understand. So for example, he got inside the collateral, which is about 20% of sell price, he imagined. So he's okay to sell it maybe twice more than he bought it, and kind of science he have to form the price, and the buyer will understand why he should pay for that, not only because, hey you guys, it's NFT, it's on the hype, go and buy it. So just to be more calm and more I know how to say, more attentive.
Okay, more attentive. So with Envelop, you can program the value of NFTs, and without Envelop, you need to make the deep due diligence and pay a lot of attention on how to determine the real value, right? And not to jump onto the hype, overpaying.
And of course, if you are an owner of a rare NFT, for example, you can wrap it and then get royalty from secondary market for half a year, or 2 years, 10 years. Whatever you set up. So it's also one more opportunity for unique NFT holders.
Mm-hmm. And this opportunity to wrap NFT and get the royalty out of it, it is already ready. The product is live.
Yeah. So I think at the beginning of next week, we'll launch our updated interface, and users can test it in mainnets of Ethereum, Binance Smart Chain, and Polygon. Now they are only on smart contract side, but the front end is upcoming.
Mm-hmm. So you already have the real cross-chain solution, multi-chain solution.
Yeah. Now multi-chain and forwarding to new chains and cross-chain design. So now we are moving with Zilliqa, then Solana, Flow, and other in plan we have.
Okay, cool. Thank you, Alex. Joel, what do you think are the core problems of the NFT sector nowadays, and how ArtWallet faces them?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of problems, none that necessarily are impossible, but a lot of marketplaces obviously are going out and saying, here's your NFT, but it's really just a proof of ownership. And most of those marketplaces won't exist in a couple of years. People don't actually own the JPEG. They don't actually have custody of whatever the actual original art piece is. And so a lot of the premise could be, destroyed very, very rapidly, and really shock and destroy a lot of people's confidence as well once they see how fragile some of that layer is, So I think that building the infrastructure behind that allows people to have a higher degree of confidence and can be, the foundation of maybe another sort of version of the NFT industry is really important. And yeah, that's really what we're doing. That's the kind of fundamental value, I think, of what we're doing. And just like, we're still just tipping into the toes of what's possible, these JPEGs or whatever else, but there's like so much under the hood of the metaverse of kind of, what's being created today, and providing the access layer, I think is very, very exciting.
And people in the chat are asking, what is the main feature of the ArtWallet? I think you just elaborated this, but can you please also summarize it shortly that everyone understands clearly?
Yeah, so ArtWallet is a wallet where you can, a multi-chain wallet where you can see all the NFTs you own. You can look at the kind of valuation criteria, and then behind those NFTs you can consume extra content that is only available to the NFT holder, which might be video content or audio content, or other types of exclusive things. So like the prizes that we talked about winning, the Tesla is going to be the first big prize that's going to happen behind that, and there's going to be a bunch more kind of on the ArtWallet launch when the product is being released.
And quite a lot of people in the chat are also asking, what are the plans for IDO of ArtWallet? So how do you think? Can we announce it now, or what?
I think we have to probably announce it later this week. I think we can have everything together. So yeah, stay in the Telegram channel. And
yeah, guys, stay on tune. Please follow ArtWallet Telegram channels and follow Scaleswap. We will announce quite shortly within this week the plans for IDO of ArtWallet. And Ralf, how do you see the core problems of the NFT sector that have to be solved as soon as possible?
Now it's difficult, Alex and Joel did the job already. So I can.
Let's switch the question to another one. What trends do you foresee in the NFT sector? Because this is also the question which is asked by a lot of chat participants.
I think there are a lot of little sub trends where I see a lot of potential. I saw, for example, one project that was more to the art related, and they mixed surrealism, so that very traditional type of art, with a modern NFT collection which was AI generated. So you have hand drawn, I don't know, 200, 400 pieces, and AI generates out of this 10,000 or something unique pictures. So I think this fusion of also traditional art, but it's not related only to art, but it's just an example, and new technologies involving AI and having that captured in an NFT. For me, it was pretty fascinating, because it looked also like real art. I know CryptoPunks, it's also fancy to have, a little bit pixeled, but overall, the rarity or the value of an NFT has so many factors, that come into play. One is the rarity itself. So how many items exist of that edition? Is it one of 100 or one of 10,000? Then it's also the creation date. So CryptoPunks, kitties, and some others, they are especially popular because these were one of the first NFTs that were ever generated. So if you look back in 20 years, you want to own something that was, at the very start of the whole blockchain world. So this determines the value of an NFT as well. Then you have the inner value, or also in future real collateral, thanks to Alex. And you have utility. So, for example, our own NFT giveaway had a utility that you are able to take part in a guaranteed way in our IDO pools. So this is a utility. And last but not least, it's also the value it has for you if it is an art piece, because of the appearance, of the attractiveness. but also it can be in-gaming objects, you know. And for example, if you just miss one piece of armor or whatever of your character, it has a very high individual value for yourself. It's like if you're collecting cards and you're only missing one, you know. So yeah, it's a lot of factors that come into play, and I believe the quality will evolve for NFTs, not only in the art place. The security, provenance, ownership will increase, and other emerging technologies like AI, etc., will come into play. And I'm also personally interested how it will develop in these more club-oriented NFTs. So I don't want to make any advertisement, but there are some apes, let's say, around where there are 10,000, let's say, minted, and it's more the value of having them being a club member, you know, because there were 10,000 minted and the current floor price is 40 ETH. So
yeah,
that's quite a lot, you know. So this is more this club type of NFT. So there are a lot of trends, more from technology driven, more from the inner utility driven. And I'm really excited because it's so broad, you know, and everything is evolving. Technology are integrated in an innovative way. So I'm very excited for the future of NFT.
Well, thank you. It's very inspiring every time when you talk about this. And I just recalled another interesting point of view shared by one of the investors who is also a very active NFT collector. He said that he likes to buy and collect things, but at the same time, he's very ascetic in his life being. So he does not like to fill in his flat and surroundings with a lot of physical stuff. And for this type of people who really don't want to overwhelm themselves with a lot of offline physical things, NFT also is an amazing opportunity to satisfy this inner demand, yeah, of buying something, collecting something, but at the same time just storing it in digital format and not overwhelming.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And some are also using, especially these NFTs, which have more a very exclusive character, or partially if the people like it very much because of the design, and they are exchanging their social media profile pictures with their NFT, with their favorite one, you know. And Twitter even thinks, it's not yet fixed, but they even think of having that blue check mark, which makes a check if this NFT is really in your wallet. So if you really own it, you know. So even Twitter thinks of this to validate these new kind of profile pictures, which are actually NFTs that you own. So that's also quite funny. But it was, I think, one of the Twitter employees who is working in that sector made, I think, a poll what the people are thinking about that idea. So they are actually thinking of it.
Interesting. And before asking Amir about his opinion on the current trends on the NFT sector, I see that there are quite some questions about the whitelisting and KYC for the upcoming Envelop IDO on Scaleswap. Yes, guys, Prodigy and others who are asking about this. Yes, you need to pass a KYC, and this is good for you. This is good for a project. So please go apply for whitelisting and pass the KYC procedure. Amir, and what do you think of the most relevant, most heavy trend on the NFT sector that you noticed?
Thank you, Nelli. So when talking about the trends and problems which the NFT world is facing, I think it's interesting to see, I think the most important and financially heavy NFTs are crypto generated or on-chain generated art. So this is where you take a look at the valuation of the CryptoPunks, for example. If you move ahead to new types of NFTs, other digital NFTs, maybe you take a look at NBA Top Shots, who bring in real world digital assets like video clips of a basketball game, you put it on chain. So now you own an NFT and you've got an NFT code, but is there actually any legal right to it? What are the rights attached to it? How can you use it and how not? So for those kind of NFTs, this is like one problem which one can identify, which is also being addressed by partners we are working with. So this is bringing a legal, architectural level into the NFT. And this is not relevant for a CryptoPunk, but maybe for some other kinds of NFTs which you want to bring in. So also one point, just going hand in hand with the KYC question. So OpenSea, having 80% of the market, does work without KYC, without AML, for obvious reasons, I think. So this is also a good vessel for moving money. Yeah, there's no doubt about that. So if we're entering with more serious partners who are interested in NFTs, maybe they need also this KYC level and this legal level attached to it. Surely it's a different thing than CryptoPunks, but I think NFTs are not only to be limited to those surely wonderful on-chain, blockchain, real art, which got the thing going. But for the real world application, this is something one has to think about, which is like a problem, you can say, with the current market. Yeah, as much as that goes against the crypto heart, of regulation and so on.
And by the way, that's exactly so. A lot of existing marketplaces, I will not name the names, everyone knows them, but they kind of play on the gray zone, right? They are not doing this KYC, AML, they are not doing this detailed check. And I know couple of startups that were targeting this sector. So for example, also there is a problem, as I heard it, that you can actually mint NFT in a couple of different multiply blockchains at the same time. And actually no one will bother with identifying where is the original one, who owns the copyright, and where is it, right? So if I understand it correctly, it is still not implemented in the existing large marketplaces that all of us know about, and this problem still remains on the market, right? You can mint NFTs on multiple blockchains without getting only one certified copyright. You don't know?
Maybe Alex, you wanted to say something? You have
I know that there are some startups who are to solve this problem of authentication. It really seems to be a real big problem, because also as we used to attend at NFT week at the beginning of October. So this problem was raised multiple times by creators, by museums, by collectors and exhibitors as one. So now, as I understand it, is only solved by the selection of the marketplaces, but it's not kind of a decentralized way, it's centralized one. So there's a kind of a committee inside the marketplace who let painters inside, their works inside, they verify them. So now I know only this working case of certification.
Okay. Sorry.
I'm aware of several different identity providers and services that are existing, and since I still have sort of a research mandate at MIT, I'm planning to when we were talking about having a new digital identity summit, because we did some things with the Trust Web and other things a couple of years ago. So I'm really thinking sometime in Q1, hopefully towards the end, to have a real proper symposium on the future of digital identity, because there's so many things that kind of rely on it, and it's a very tricky problem to get right, because and it depends a little bit on the solution and how to do verification well. I personally am very passionate about reputational systems, and they were talked about very early on in the Ethereum tradition, or kind of a community, early crypto economics groups. But there are still some missing pieces, I think, to get like a really big, implementation going. So I'm excited to see how that evolves.
Are there any reputation systems that you are using on a daily basis, or not really?
I mean, there's other ones that people build, for you, right? Like credit score, like it's kind of hard to avoid some of these, data-driven things that other people make about you. But ones that you deliberately participate in and choose for yourself, I think is quite unusual, I would say.
Mm-hmm. And by the way, I share your passion about the reputation systems, and all our community knows that Scaleswap has the reputation system integrated inside our tokens. So every token holder has a certain reputation rating based not only on the amount of SCA tokens hold, but also on how they participate in the IDOs, how they manage the assets that they got after IDOs, how do they deal with the tokens of the projects, how long, etc. 6 dimensions that are calculated in order to ensure that we incentivize community for the right behavior towards IDO. So this is also the reputation system I love a lot, and I think it works perfectly. Guys in the chat, let us know, what do you think of this? Many of you are participants of this reputation system, so drop us your comments. And meanwhile, Joel, Alex, plenty of questions about partnership between ArtWallet and Envelop. So can you please elaborate a little bit more, because you announced that you are collaborating. In what aspect do you collaborate with each other?
Maybe I just want to say about a few words more about reputation, because our advisor Minoscope also works a lot on the concept of transactional reputation, and also the main thesis of this system is put inside our Oracle, that to have reputation kind of an NFT can have a reputation, a DAO can have a reputation, and we can give different tools to estimate this reputation based on not only quantitative but also transactional things. And as for collaboration, we can offer, as I mentioned, our wrapping tools, royalty payment tools, and other to be, I think, could be built inside ArtWallet and give new functionality unique to the market. So one more unique feature, or 3 or 4 for ArtWallet to be, can be executed, but it's up to Joel what he thinks is in priority for him. So in case we'll be ready to work on these features together.
Yeah, I'm very excited about the Envelop stuff, and there's, I think, just the way saying, there's multiple things we could do, when it comes to the collateralization, the lending. I mean, even just looking at play to earn games and kind of what's happening there, ability to kind of lend, and on top of these kind of existing, whatever axes, scholarships, etc. But I think they require, sometimes a pass through kind of regulatory things, sometimes a pass through, prioritization and feature wise. So we don't have the exact, like, when we're implementing when exactly defined right now for these things. But I'm sure that they will happen.
Sounds super impressive. And I'm sure, guys, since you join efforts, it would be really amazing for both sides and for the community itself. And Amir, I also know that you manage quite a number of NFT projects, and also collaborate with Envelop on the technological side. So can you elaborate very briefly on what features from the Envelop you integrate?
So I think one of the very interesting features, specifically for the artist, but also for the user, on the one hand, we've got the royalty function, which I think is a must-have and one of the most compelling reasons to jump on, also digital NFTs. And on the other hand, also integrating airdrops, which is a very nice and beautiful marketing mechanism to actually really have a very different relationship to the buyer and to the user, especially like from a customer engaging way. So despite the collateral functionalities which are upcoming, I think those are very exciting tools, reshaping business models on this way and allowing new value.
That is Very sweet to hear. I myself love both Envelop and ArtWallet, and of course the work Rocket Blockchain does. So I'm super happy that we all meet together, guys, here on the platform of Scaleswap and can discuss these kind of things. Before we jump to the next questions from the chat, I've seen quite a lot of people were elaborating on the price of minting of NFTs. Crazy gas fees when you mint the object, I don't know, that worth $100 and you pay $60 or $80 or $100 for minting. People are asking what to do with that. Others are asking what is the best blockchain to mint NFTs or best platform to mint NFTs, and how overall do you look at this situation with crazy minting costs, and what you will say or advise maybe our audience that is starting working with NFTs or already is deeply involved and need some input from you guys. You're so experienced here. So Ralf, you were quite silent last minute, so maybe you can start elaborating.
Yeah, it's definitely a challenge, the gas fees. But if you have a look at the statistics, it's also like this, that a lot of the low price NFT mintings, they moved over to Polygon. So they have in the meantime a really high numbers in terms of NFT minting, but it's the majority are really low value because gas fees are close to not existing on Polygon. So yeah, it's also pretty natural. Most of the other, or yeah, I can say the majority is still on Ethereum. So also these more art related, these more club related projects, they have often collections of 10,000 around, and the mint price is between 0.05 up to 0.2 ETH per mint. And yeah, partially it happens that the gas fees are higher than the mint fee that you have to pay, you know. But these are also these special projects where you really have large collections of 10,000 or something, where you have where it's a lot of around community. It's close to always the case in Discord, and yeah, there are various other types, you know, where you are creating NFTs out of other reasons, you know. And in these cases, it always depends on the value of the NFT, if it makes sense. If it's a high price NFT, it makes no difference to pay Ethereum gas fees. And the people are still pretty comfortable in using this. It's simply, yeah, the most broadly used protocol. But yeah, there is no real other solution than for specific cases using also layer 2 or other protocols. At least for the gas wars, and this always happened when, for example, it's pure first come first serve, and a lot of people are trying at the same time to mint. Then it's even on Ethereum network, which has a lot of transactions, you can really feel it, like the gas fees are going up, and their projects are handling in various ways. One way is that they have kind of a reservation phase, and afterwards, after that reservation, you have, which is no gas costs, and afterwards you have 6 hours to mint, you know. So you can bypass a little bit that if you have a high number of NFTs to mint, and if you expect a high number that simultaneously want to do the transaction. So there are some solutions, at least not to increase it with gas wars in addition.
Okay, so for low-cost NFTs, Ralf suggests to use a Polygon blockchain, and I would not argue with that. I love Polygon ecosystem, and when you pay 0.000 something matic for the transaction instead of paying like I don't know 100 or 1,000 times more in the Ethereum mainnet, of course, it makes the difference. But I'm curious to hear what other guys say. Would you also suggest Polygon or maybe some other chains, or maybe you know some secret formula how to mint NFT for 1 penny on Ethereum?
I think there's no secret formulas, but maybe some guys are offering the concept of lazy minting when
lazy minting.
Yeah. So when you make a kind of a draft for your NFT, and only in case when it's bought, it's minted. So the buyers pays for all that. So this kind of solution is. And if you say kind of applications, we had a use case where we had to mint about 1,000 NFT, put inside tokens of projects who attended on a conference. So we decided to choose Binance Smart Chain to mint and distribute it, because in Ethereum it was practically insane to do that.
Okay, I love this lazy minting concept, and yeah, I even dropped it to the live chat for people to remember this term. It's new for me. Joel, would you add something?
I basically agree with everything Ralf said. You know, there's a lot of options now for cheaper minting things. You know, it's kind of similar to see, you know, the way that Ethereum has evolved, you know, over time, is that it's a transaction layer for the high value kind of, you know, low computational need smart contracts. You know, even originally we were talking about all these DAOs and complex logic and stuff like that. And, you know, to run a vote on Ethereum also very expensive right now for basically exactly the same reasons. You can do it, but, you know, there are a lot of now layer 2 solutions that have emerged that make it so much easier to kind of do that. So for smaller, let's say lower value type items, layer 2; for higher values, layer 1.
Got ya. And Amir, do you have something to add here about this minting prices and conditions?
Actually, I think a lot of points were said already. Lazy minting is a function which is used by different marketplaces. Also, there's different technologies available, such as Polygon or Casper Labs or Cardano. So there are different solutions out there, and which address this problem. I think it's very interesting, and that's also what Ralf already took away, that minting is not the only problem, but actually the gas fees as well. Because if people want to get their hands very fast on a collection, which they see a high value in, then the minting fee may be only 1/10 of what they will pay for the transaction fee to get it faster than the others. That means that people with deeper pockets will have the NFTs first. So those are points which are there, but there are solutions ahead with different chains and technologies.
Good.
And maybe a little side comment. It also it's always a hot topic in the community. So it also brings a little excitement, you know. The community talks then before the mint, you know, half an hour. What are the gas fees? What are the gas fees? And, you know, it is simply a topic, you know, even if it's a negative topic, but it gives an additional dimension where also certain excitement comes with it. So just as a side comment.
Speaking about excitement, 5,000 of people are watching us on YouTube. And guys, do you remember during the discussion, Alex and other speakers, they mentioned also the opportunity to make NFT indexes. When you have one NFT, but inside this NFT, there are different tokens. Well, there could be other assets as well. But in this case, it could be tokens of different projects that are hidden inside the NFT, and that can have vesting periods, lockups, unlocks, etc. And well, you are the first ones. We did not announce it yet, but I dropped you the link to the Telegram announcement channel where you can get all the updates. But you are here 5,000 people exclusively, small circle. The first to know that in a few days, we will announce this very, very special Smart NFT campaign by Scaleswap and the best IDO projects that are launching on Scaleswap and our great partners, community partners. And this Smart NFT campaign is built exactly on the Envelop technology. And there will be 25 different NFTs, very beautiful, outstanding ones. But in addition to its value as an art object, you will have there locked tokens of different amazing projects, including Envelop, including ArtWallet, including those that launched previously on Scaleswap. We will share the details in a couple of days, so stay tuned, keep updated, and you will hear from us very soon about this. I also see a lot of questions, both to Joel and Alex, about how you describe what is the utility of your tokens, what is your go-to-market strategy, what is your biz dev strategy, and so on and so forth. A lot of really smart questions from the community, but this discussion is meant to discuss the future of the NFT sector. And I tell you that next Monday, we have the special AMA session with Alex about Envelop, specifically, where we will answer all the questions about Envelop tokens, BizDev, etc. And a week later, we will have special AMA session with Joel about ArtWallet, where we will go through all your questions about the project, about its business potential, about its go-to-market strategy, and so on and so forth. So guys, I welcome you again to stay tuned and to join the specific AMA sessions where you can ask all the questions to the founders and get all the needed information to do your due diligence and to see the potential of the project. Meanwhile, just summarizing our discussion, the last question I think for today is, guys, how do you see the NFT sector 1 year later? Imagine that we are in October 2022. To make it more specific, maybe, I know you don't have glass balls, yeah, to predict the future. I'm not speaking here about the price or whatever, but what will be the core difference comparing to October 2021? What will change on the NFT sector in 1 year later? Can you please elaborate? Who wants to start, please?
I can just go ahead and give it a small start.
Sure, Amir.
I have the pleasure of working with our managing partner and CTO of Rocket, Andreas Kind, who's coming as an ex-CTO online from the very traditional world, having very traditional use cases in there. So why I'm saying this, we've got, I think, a broadened area of use cases which will be coming in. And one word which I heard already, which is interesting and it doesn't go about art, is called industrial NFT. So this is a project where they're working on a decentralized industry 4.0 machine production for different products, like, for example, COVID-related products for masks, so the people are independent from that. So allowing a community to be actually owner of an industrial NFT of a product which is hyper-locally actually supplying them is a very interesting pattern. So this is moving away from art, moving away from digital assets, but actually to very tangible assets and using the business models and the tokenization level. So basically, to sum it up in a short way, I think that there will be many different use cases evolving around art, around real estate, in the NFT world. So I see a very broader future for the applications in here.
Beautiful, really beautiful. Ralf, you unmuted or
I am, but I also was still thinking. So
okay, you can think a bit more if you wish. I think maybe Alex can elaborate.
Yes, for me, I think that the main difference will be in game sector, I think that big players from traditional gaming will come into this NFT field. Also hear from some of our partners who are deeply in game that these players are kind of experiments with NFTs they have now. And of course, I think that metaverse development will be maybe one of key drivers of it's kind of a buzzword, mass adoption, but I know how to name it, for mass public to come into crypto space, and I think that products will make it for them a kind of seamless, that they will see no difference between Web 2 or Web 3 applications to use. And the NFTs will be hidden inside and used as the units inside these worlds.
So you believe that in 1 year later, we will finally reach mass adoption for the NFT sector?
It can be composed of pure and digits, it will be mass, but if we say look into 10 years, it will be just a tiny surplus of visitors to this space.
Yeah, you know, guys, recently I learned while preparing for one event, I learned that there are 2 million people worldwide already are in crypto sector, already hold crypto or use it or do business with crypto, make payments, etc. Outstanding numbers, really mind-blowing. I didn't expect it myself, even though working deeply inside this scene. So I hope, let's cross all our fingers, you know, thoughts can come true if you have this crowd effort to imagine this. Joel, Ralf, your thoughts on how do we feel in October 2022 in the NFT sector?
I was thinking enough, so I can do now. Yeah, it's a little bit hard, you know, 1 year. We are pretty optimistic, so I'm also having more an optimistic view on it. Can also take longer. So in addition to what was already said, and what I fully agree is that buying and holding NFT, I hope this will be more seamless and not limited, let's say, to a certain crypto affine crowd. So that you can buy with any means of payment, you know, very easily. Connected with this also that there is a wallet which is also a wallet for the masses, you know. So like the wallet on your iPhone, you know, where you can store in all kind of tickets, so that you also have there a very easy overview, but also secure overview, and also preview if it's an NFT art related. And one point that it's also interconnected, but this is then really not in 1 year, maybe several years, but then it's interconnected. You're buying an NFT, you know, and directly, if everything is connected, you can have that on all kind of screens in your living room, for example, that piece of art, or you can easily rent it to someone who can then display it on his phone and on his screens in his living room. So yeah, really not 1 year this last one, but hopefully it will come. But this is a little bit seamless UI, UX. These are also things that I really hope that will happen. And then also a bigger step to mass adoption will definitely happen, because we see now NFTs have this little addiction factor, you know. The people are getting crazy for it, you know. They love it, and especially this non-fungible aspect, collectible aspect, sometimes club aspect, art aspect, value aspect, so many things. And I'm really happy that we are also working together with the best NFT projects that exist, and that will transform the NFT landscape.
Oh, thank you, Ralf. You know, more than 10 years ago, I met one Swiss startup, unfortunately, I forgot the name, that already executed that technology, allowing you, like in the movies, you know, you have this screen, but not computer screen or TV screen. You have this virtual screen where you can do like this, and just in in the middle of your room, or you can also have the screen on your table, on your wall, on your fridge, or whatever.
Yeah.
So yeah, I could easily imagine, but unfortunately, I don't see it yet on the market. Maybe you have some luxury offices who have these technologies, but not yet in every house. So hope you will be right, Joel. Last but not least, give us your vision, big vision.
Well, I also have a celebrity agency, and we represent a lot of like top, artists and stuff doing NFTs. Like we did the Tyson drop, which broke a bunch of records on OpenSea. I think it was like 17 million in primary and secondary in the opening weekend. And it's really exciting to see people like that get involved in the space. And I think there's a lot more people kind of on the eaves who have these, tens of millions of followers kind of thing, and really working on what is the streamlined experience, as people come on board. Because I've gone and tried to buy things on OpenSea before, and even though I started MetaMask, I still kind of sometimes an embarrassing thing to like be like, click, what's happening? Click, okay, does that go through or not? Okay, I'm gonna try to wrap this, but then it times out, and these kind of things. There's still a ways in which the technology is not really ready for, let's say, mass consumption, and so I think there's really a lot of infrastructure work, and sometimes like the being inside the hold, and it takes sometimes a quite long time. It's kind of maybe like 3 or 4 years before MetaMask was even like usable, the current stage. But I think there's years of work, to be really done. So I don't know if we'll get there by this time next year, but I do think that we will get there, and it will be a seamless buying experience where people don't have to think about the technology behind it, but they get the same benefit of having, digital collectibles that are tradable and all the other things. So I think that's definitely coming, and and there's a bunch of sort of signs that people are starting to embrace this, and including and one of the things we're really excited about, and I think it was brought up by Envelop as well. It's just sort of the downstream kind of royalties and renting and kind of things like that too, that we're going to start to have these secondary markets that are emerging around being able to take your NFT collection and lend it out to art gallery, or make other people be able to listen to the audio content. And then people are going to start scratching their heads and be like, well, why do we need Spotify, or why do we need Netflix, or why do we need OnlyFans if we can just deliver the content this way? And then the reality is, once we're kind of really there, I mean, there's just, lots of opportunities for disruption. Let's just say that.
Yeah, I can't agree more here. And by the way, I'm grateful for you for MetaMask. But when I first installed it, it took me 4 hours to learn how it works. So if I knew you that time, I would know whom to blame. But I hope that it will evolve in a way that you described, definitely. Guys, I promise that this will be the last question, I know, but let me take 1 more minute of your time, because I see quite a couple of questions in the chat asking you, Joel, Alex, and Amir, on why did you choose Scaleswap, and why do you work with Scaleswap? So sorry, I can't let you go without asking this question and letting you answer this. You can do it very, very shortly, highlighting why. Joel, since you are unmuted, maybe you start.
Well, I think we have another AMA coming up, I guess, next week you said? So maybe we should defer to that AMA to kind of go into these type of things. If you don't mind.
You
so
know how to
the
keep intrigue. Yeah. you know how to warm up. Guys, Joel will answer on the AMA next week. Alex?
As for me, we selected to work with Scaleswap because we know Ralf for a rather long time, and especially we like the system that was integrated in Scaleswap about a kind of score for community. And so we are really searching for good quality community, and think that on Scaleswap it's the real good one, and we'll be happy to have an idea around this good company.
Super. We are super flattered to hear that. 2 core advantages, Ralf and Scale Score. That's really flattering. Amir, what is your opinion?
No, it's not only the community building mechanisms and the scale swap, for example, in place, but I think like in many things, it's the people behind it. So I had the pleasure of meeting you, having lovely discussions with you, learning from you. And that's why it's just a natural choice. And thank you at this point.
So sweet of you. Thank you very much. Guys, thank you. I promised 1 minute more and that's it. Thank you to all of these people who are watching us here, guys. You are very dear community members, so please stay tuned. We will send you the link afterwards. After the session, I will put the links to ArtWallet Tesla campaign, to the whitelisting of Envelop IDO campaign, to the links that Amir was talking about. So you will have it all in the description of these videos, and of course circulating in the Telegram group. And of course, I'm very, very grateful for you guys. So just to remind, we had here Amir Sultan Malik, who is CEO and co-founder at Rocket Blockchain. We had here Alex Shedogubov, who is a co-founder and CEO at Envelop protocol, and we have here Joel Dietz, who was creating MetaMask some years ago, and right now he's creating the ArtWallet, CEO and co-founder at ArtWallet. And of course, Ralf Gerteis, one of 2 core advantages of Scaleswap IDO Launchpad. Thank you very much, guys, for your brain power and for your big vision. You are making this world better, and our sector evolved quite faster than it would be without you. Thanks a lot.
And thank you very much to the best moderator in the crypto space, Nelli Orlova.